Good morning, coffee moaners. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, I'm still here. I was so much better yesterday, and then this morning it's bad again.
Oh my God.
I know, that's what I said to you.
Yeah, no, but you had your glasses on. I never see it. So the ridge across the top of it. Oh my Lord.
I know, my nose is all
poor
swelling.
thing.
I know.
Oh my God.
It's annoying.
God, what the hell is it? It's so weird. So apologies to everyone. I mean, not apologies. I don't mean if you're watching in 3D, every time she blinks, she brushes your nose.
Yeah. We do also put Coffee Moaning on podcast, so you're very welcome to listen to it instead. If you're new to our channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. And we know quite a few of you watch regularly, but haven't hit that subscribe button. It's really easy. It's just that. Don't cost you nothing. Helps get these videos out more. And just
demonstrate getting
nice.
Videos out more. Yeah.
And just helps us feel nice.
Just on that note, if you do just want to listen, the links are in the description box between all of these. You can go to podcast, you can go to Apple Podcast or Spotify and subscribe. But anyway, good morning, everyone.
Good morning. So today we are going to be talking about Israel.
Well, yeah, and also
I
uploaded on my Instagram last night an immediate response, a not surprised response to Israel bombing the shit out of Gaza again. So we're going to talk about that.
Yep, and also
Hurricane Melissa has hit Jamaica.
Every time I go to speak.
No, I know, but because I don't think you can read it.
I can.
Oh,
but
just taking an enormous pause. That's why I'm just getting it out quick. And then Lily Allen's Revenge. We're going to be talking about Lily Allen's latest album. So now, just briefly on Hurricane Melissa, it's severe, but from what I'm reading, thankfully, it hasn't been as severe as everyone was worried it was going to be. I mean, it's made landfall in Cuba. It's hit extensive parts of Jamaica. So we have got some footage from
all these
that.
Countries that are like this, so oh God, just so challenged in so. Oh God, Cuba is such a beautiful country, and I've been there. But an awful lot of people that are extremely poor. I wonder, yeah.
And also because it's a former communist state, probably not getting the same attention as maybe Jamaica gets. I mean, bizarrely, isn't it weird how the mainstream media kind of like, well, Hurricane Melissa has destroyed Cuba, but you know, it's weird. Cuba always gets, I mean, some of the images I'm seeing here, which I haven't yet got, we had to pull this together quite quickly. So if I'm scrambling for footage, I may try and pull it in at the last minute if I can. And the other thing that we were talking about was Lily Allen. Why do you like Lily Allen?
I love Lily Allen, and I love Lily Allen for so many different reasons. First and foremost, I think she's incredibly talented.
Yeah,
her songwriting is poetry, absolute contemporary poetry, isn't it? And I love her because I think that because I think people are very harsh on her because she comes from a supposedly wealthy, privileged family. But actually, when you read about her life, and I came across, well, no, maybe I won't say that. But when you read about her life and her childhood, there are so many people that live in big, fat, rich houses, you know, that behind closed doors, they can be just as neglected as a child that might not, and vice versa. Somebody could appear to live with very little. Family could have very little. They could maybe live in a tiny place without much money and live an absolutely beautiful childhood. This idea that money buys you a good childhood really, really sickens me. And a friend of ours that's worked in a number of different private schools actually says that all the time, doesn't she? She said the kids that go under the radar because they arrive at school in a Range Rover and they've got nannies and they've got, you know, so I always like to look a little bit under the bonnet when people are just dismissed as spoiled brats, because there's usually something else going on. And I've read her autobiography, and we had her on Loose Women as well. And I like her enormously. And I think the way that she gets attacked and vilified by the press, you know, those same angry men that get so cross about Greta Thunberg, you know, women with an opinion. Women with, you know, with a purpose. And so that's why I love her, because she rises above it all, and she's just written another brilliant album.
Well, we're going to go back to Lily Allen's album and her Revenge album. I love this idea.
Why don't we just carry on with it now?
Well, because I think editorially we should be prioritising two other stories.
I thought you wanted me to start.
No, I was just saying why you liked her and why she was in the title.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
It's fine.
No. I knew you did, and I didn't know quite how to get out of it. And I was trying to kind of say, actually,
No,
maybe we should build to this because it's lighter
because
in a
we
way.
had to
I don't know
put
what
the
to do
show
there.
on last minute because I have to go to the hospital. So when you were going to me like this, I think you're saying carry on
No.
because I'm trying to, something
No,
new's
I
come in.
wasn't pointing at anything. I was actually doing something.
When you see TV shows, of course, everybody has these things in their ear and they have a whole
What I wanted to
team.
say to her in her ear was, shut up.
There's a whole team of people that are sorting everything out and they'll be, messaging through your ear, but it's just me and him.
Yeah. So on that note, that great pitch there for why
So why did you like Lily Allen?
No, I know, but I didn't realise you were going to do a life story.
No, because I thought
you did a life story.
I thought you had something coming in.
We're going to talk. It's fine. We're going to talk about Lily. Let's not go on about it. We're going to talk about Lily Allen at the end.
Calm down.
Well, we just want to get through stuff.
All right, well, calm down.
The clock is ticking.
It's fine.
Oh my God.
There's nobody running behind us with a torch.
Well, there is actually. We've got to get out the door very quickly. So let me just show you footage that has come in overnight. Well, actually, I think we have to put our priorities on the biggest news of the last 24 hours, which is Israel breaching the ceasefire. Yeah. This isn't incidental. This isn't kind of, this is shocking and horrific what's happened last night.
So sadly, we were not shocked. We were horrified, but we were not shocked, were we, Mark? We knew 100% that this was going to happen, and yet the sweet, innocent parts of our heart were still so shocked that actually it's going to happen in exactly the way that we thought it would.
I think Netanyahu has left no sweet, gooey part of my heart towards him anymore. So the headlines last night were this: Israel launched.
Mine.
These are headlines from last night. Israel has launched strikes on Gaza City. Witnesses reported. And I just want to talk about that, and I just want to show you the footage from last night was here. Civil defense rescue rubble again. Again.
هاي جبت لك شنطة.
Guy at the bottom there.
I saw a video this morning.
عمان. حاجة مطفحة. أجيب اللفاف.
Children piled up.
No news from mainstream media.
بس إيد أصبر إيد وضع.
These people are still being by other kind people that are starving, that are thirsty, that are in flip-flops. Real men wear flip-flops.
Yeah, and also,
that is my bloody hashtag.
And apparently really moral soldiers fire bombs and sniper children and men in flip-flops. So what an absolutely shambolic, shameful bunch of villainous murderers, the IDF are.
An absolute stain on humanity.
The headlines this morning, interestingly, Israeli strikes in Gaza kill at least 60 overnight as ceasefire looks increasingly fragile. Now, I want to take umbrage with this headline. This is The Guardian. Israel strikes in Gaza kill. What part of that am I fucking furious about? As ceasefire looks increasingly fragile.
How dare you?
There's a really curious language being used here that every single time. Now, just quickly for context, Israel is accusing Hamas of shooting a soldier, but there's absolutely nothing or anyone who's verified that. That cannot be verified. It's also more likely attached to the fact that, as we said yesterday, there are issues around being able to recover the bodies or the remains of the bodies. And why is that? Because Israel has made Gaza unsearchable and unrecoverable in terms of bodies. But the fact that The Guardian says that absolutely incenses me, because the Western media is once again giving cloud cover every single time Israel decides, under its own terms, without verification, without any of the Western media asking for proof, that they need to hit back for some alleged breach of the ceasefire, when they themselves have breached the ceasefire over 125 times, which we're going to show you in a minute. We talk about the ceasefire. We talk about it looks like the ceasefire is fragile. That means the ceasefire is not a ceasefire.
And it's like you say, if one Israeli had been shot, right? It's just the amount, the complete dehumanization of the Palestinians. It doesn't matter what the numbers are. The numbers of bodies are completely irrelevant, aren't they?
The BBC said last night the ceasefire is still in place.
There are more column inches to the bodies of the hostages that can't be found in the rubble that Israel keeps adding to the rubble, they keep on bombing, than for the thousands of men, women, and children that have been slaughtered. Shame on you, mainstream media, shame on you. Complicit.
Yeah, totally complicit. Linda Stevenson, Clodagh, you're absolutely right. There never was a ceasefire. But the BBC saying this is really important. This sounds really simple, and it's like, well, what are you talking about? You know, the BBC said last night, how can a media outlet say a ceasefire is in place?
Yeah.
Just because Israel says it will be back in place, just because Trump and Rubio say it will, don't worry, and Vance say, well, don't worry, it will settle again after this. That's not a ceasefire.
It's because everybody is looking out for the billionaires. That's what it is. Everybody is covering for everybody. Everybody is bloody compromised. That's what it feels like anyway.
No, that's exactly what it is.
Because it's like, how can you sell us this? Try and sell us this when we can see with our own eyes, our own lying eyes, apparently. These eyes are lying.
That headline should say, Israel strikes Gaza, kill at least 60 overnight as ceasefire falls apart or collapses or ends. You don't say
no
it looks
hope,
fragile.
No hope for ceasefire as 60 are slaughtered.
I mean, we are in
their homes.
We are in a completely existential mindfuck of a definition. We're making words meaningless. A ceasefire is not a ceasefire when aeroplanes, F-35s, bomb
F-35s
camps.
that we are helping. Those F-35s could not be flying over if it wasn't for the UK government supplying the parts for the F-35.
And I just want to show you this.
Shame on you, so shame on you, David Lemmy.
So the Guardian, the Guardian is reporting 60, but when I look at Al Jazeera are saying the number is 91. So once again, even the numbers aren't right. Death toll from Israeli attacks on Gaza rises to at least 100. So the mainstream media here doesn't even get the numbers right.
But Mark, as well, remember, by each minute, those numbers will be being added to, because the whole infrastructure is fucked. The ambulances, the hospitals, people are bleeding out. I don't know if anyone looked at that Beast of Middle East post yesterday. People just like their innards hanging out, legs hanging off, no possibility of blood transfusion, painkillers, not fucking paracetamol. So every minute there's somebody else dying.
Laura Nolan, exactly. What ceasefire? Is a ceasefire in Bibi's eyes just no one attacking Israel, but he can attack who he likes? That's exactly. So even the word ceasefire has been imperialized, colonialized, and white supremacized. They decide the ceasefire. It's their ceasefire. It's not the people of Palestine or even Hamas's ceasefire. It's only Israel saying, no, we're going to kill 400 of you. And then the ceasefire can come back. This is a continuation of what they did. They're just being more formal. They're kind of putting their hand up going, end of ceasefire, back on ceasefire. End of ceasefire, back on the ceasefire. Benjamin Netanyahu is one of those, and incidentally, in my post I posted, he was in court yesterday.
Interesting.
He asked for his court hearing, or the kind of, the interview or whatever it was an administrative detail. He was in court. And he asked for them to kind of terminate the court hearing by 2.5 hours because he had to attend his defense meeting. I know what we'll do. Let's kill 90 to 100 Palestinians so that you can get out of facing the music, Bibi. He's a hideously corrupt.
Because he is in court for corruption, right, guys? You know that.
Which the Bibi Files goes to great lengths to show you.
Bibi Files, it goes on and on and on.
Oh my God! I mean, I just find the culpability of the media. I mean, and I've been vouching for the Guardian a lot, and I don't even think this headline was written necessarily with kind of viciousness behind it, or kind of. But look, like just ceasefire. A ceasefire isn't fragile when one side is killing people. It's over.
How can they have made such a monumental mistake? It's not a mistake.
News Cord, which is really good at this. Check out their Instagram account.
Do follow them and support them. They do really good work.
Yeah, they do a really good job of analysing, or just they don't even have to analyse, but they just make us stop and re-examine headlines that we're fed. 125 ceasefire violations ignored by the media as Netanyahu orders escalation of bombardment. Western media outlets sensationalize and amplify Israeli lies. The Australian, Israel carries out powerful strikes on Gaza as Hamas attacks IDF.
Oh my God, all those poor people just sat already just
The
like
Telegraph, Netanyahu orders fresh strikes on Gaza Strip after
powerful.
IDF
I really
soldiers
hate
shot
that.
by Hamas. Both the Australian and the Telegraph, says News Corp, propagate Israel's unverified and historically unreliable claims of attacks by Hamas as a justifiable excuse to further escalate ceasefire violations. And here are all the other media. None of these headlines from Euronews, CNN, Sky News, The Guardian, the BBC, none of them mention the 125 ceasefire violations by Israel. They just greenlight Israel's continued genocide. BBC, Israel launches strikes on Gaza after Netanyahu orders powerful attacks. The Independent, Netanyahu orders Israel military to carry out strikes on Gaza
immediately. Can I pause you for 1 second? Powerful. The machism, how do you say it?
Machoism.
Machoism
Yeah.
of that. Powerful.
That's his words. They put it in inverted commas, but they've gone for his words because they're
powerful. And you think of those people, you know, unarmed, unfed, scrabbling with their elderly and their babies, and what, you're so powerful, are you? You're so powerful. Kicking a puppy when it's down, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
I mean, as I said yesterday, he's been
macho
itching.
man.
He's been itching. He's had his finger up his arse and he's been itching away, thinking, oh, I really want to kill. We haven't been able to kill as many Palestinians. I can't kill people.
But Ben-Gvir is foaming at the mouth. He's so desperate.
His eyes are coming out of his skull. With literally, you can feel the Israeli government there. It's like a compulsion and an addiction. And they haven't stopped because they keep breaching the ceasefire, but they just haven't been able to quite kill enough Palestinians fast enough. You can see
the money we could be earning every day. That's money we're not earning. We need that land. We need the real estate. We need the cheap holidays. The cheap holidays in the sun. We need the big hotels. We need this place cleansed.
JR3938, no middle ground here. You're absolutely right. Your stance on Palestine genocide defines your conscience. Defines it. Farida,
it's not fucking
if Israel violates anything, who do they answer to? Anyone? Anybody?
No, because they're all stitched up with them. They've given them the license. They've given them impunity.
Yeah. Oh,
Palestinians are hardly even. Well, I mean, speech after speech we've had from Trump, and he never says the word Palestinians. Never even says them. Never even brings them into the conversation.
Jeremy Corbyn says Israel never stopped bombing Gaza. It never stopped killing Palestinians. It never stopped committing genocide. And government ministers wonder why we continue to demonstrate in our thousands.
Yep. In our thousands, in our millions, we are all Palestinians. Everything we watch and we allow and we see and we turn our backs on can happen to any one of us anywhere in the world. Absolutely. And we're already seeing the beginnings of it in America.
Yeah,
did you see Stephen Miller yesterday?
No.
Oh my God, it was so petrifying. He came out and he basically said, ICE agents can do whatever they want. There will be no punishment. And if anyone comes anywhere near them or does anything, they will have the law fall upon them. I'm paraphrasing. Basically giving them license to do whatever they want. Of course they can't. They can still be arrested and they can still be, but that's the tone. That's what they're trying to normalize in America. That these thugs, many of them are
they're like
thugs.
the SS. They're like the SS in Nazi Germany.
He literally said it yesterday. Nobody questioned them because people are starting to film. People are starting to pull them off children as they're trying to take them off and drag them off into vans and take them God knows where.
Am I right in thinking that part of that is they're attempting to push back against Gavin Newsom's desire to unmask them in California as well?
But what does that remind you of? What does that remind you of? The hundreds of videos we've seen of Palestinians being taken off like that. And if anyone, don't you disagree? Because guess what? You'll be taken off as well. That is what Stephen Miller, with that speech, sounded like he's preparing the ground for. And my God, it was ringing in my ears, and our thousands and our millions were all Palestinians.
Lee Darren, hi Lee, hope you're well, matey. Thanks again for your message yesterday. What's the point in having a ceasefire if there are no consequences for those who break the rules? Bottom line is Israel can do whatever the hell they want.
Just like Trump and his government are doing now in America.
JR3938, remember 90% of the world see this for what it is. For years, we've been brainwashed to believe we are always morally correct and have the highest of human rights, but sadly, it's illusion. It is an illusion, jail.
90%.
Well, yes. I mean, I'm only going to bring this fact in for no other reason other than it's important to remember. Of 195, 96 nations in the world, 185 do not prescribe Hamas as a terrorist organization. 10 countries in the world do. And those countries that do have a long history of oppression, imperialism, control. And those other countries, when they turn to, and this isn't my definition, by the way, just legally, these countries that don't recognize Hamas as a prescribed terrorist group see Hamas as a response to an occupation. That's how the majority of countries legally observe.
I didn't know that.
Hamas. 185 countries. Think about that. If we want to try and pretend that we're not somehow exceptionalist and imperialist in our notion of how important we are, how come the opinion of just 10 countries dictates the terms of absolutely everything in the world? So it's just an important.
Is it still America not agreeing to the ceasefire as well in the United Nations? You know, when we've been having these votes, haven't we, Phil? Is it still just America
in regards
in
to
the
what?
way of that, of the ceasefire?
Well, their veto has stopped.
Is it just them now?
Yeah, but they're
because
not.
We were included in that for a long while.
Yeah, we were. But them vetoing ceasefires at the United Nations doesn't mean a ceasefire would be enacted.
No, I know, but I'm just talking about that because that was so stark, wasn't it? At one point it was just America, Russia,
it was that stupid. It was the woman who that woman in her red dress who just looked so sort of kind of arrogant and sort of I'm going to get my latte whilst also not stopping a genocide. In years to come, says Laura Lou, we will look back and be stunned that our Prime Minister didn't stand up to this horror. It's so unbelievable, and we're living in this moment.
Many of us already are stunned, aren't we? But history will judge him.
I don't think he's stunned because he's kind of concerned by what he's done, but he looks stunned. No, she's saying we're stunned. No, I know, but he also looks, I was about to say, he looks as stunned as us, but he's not stunned for the same reasons. That's what I was trying to say. Okay, all right. Well, let's move on. It's so predictable.
It's so distressing. It's so distressing. And I just think of Children Not Numbers and the work that they're doing there and on the ground. And, I quite often will see the texts that come in from people working there in Gaza, in the school, trying to get children fed, sharing a date between 3 kids. And, they were joyful at the ceasefire message coming through. And you just think, and of course we were all like, well, how long will it hold? I mean, they're having to take the pinholes of light, aren't they? But absolutely. I'm just thinking of them all today and just right across Palestine. It's just because now it's official. I mean, though the ceasefire didn't stop, now it's official, really, isn't it? Because Netanyahu has stated it. Back in.
Yeah, exactly.
Powerful attacks.
Excuse me, you marauding toddler.
Why powerful attacks? What's happened?
Hang on. So you did see? Oh, okay. Thank you so much. So the ceasefire's back on now. All those children and with families and Palestinians who now don't know if those drones that are not stopping. There's a constant sound of drones, and what you have to understand is when you hear a drone, you don't know if that drone's going to kill you. I remember my nan talking about the torture in World War II of the doodle bugs.
My mum too.
And what would happen? These were bombs that Germany would fire over or send off, and they would make a sound. Whistling. And when the sound stopped,
like a whistling.
When the sound stopped, you paused and you held your breath. And my nan and granddad at one point were in their house, wherever they were in the Midlands. They were, RAF, but they were on leave, and the house opposite was blown to smithereens because it landed on their house.
Because it would just be this pause, and you didn't know where it was.
Yeah, and she said she said, but you could hear it coming from miles away. She said, but the torture of that. So imagine that. Take that times it by a million all the time.
As we've said to you before, but you might be new here. Miss Anne Harriman, who many of you follow, I know, went out to Egypt to photograph the kids there, kids that had managed to get out for. Urgent medical care, though they are very, very mean on letting any kids out. My God, if you knew the story behind that as well. But anyway, he said the kids are holding their ears all the time because they can still hear them. They hear them all the time, even though they're not there. I mean, the amount of psychological damage as well to these people.
And just pause for a second on using that analogy where we can really imagine all our grandparents, can't we? Our white, privileged, comfortable, not comfortable in World War II, but we knew them to be comfortable. They were going through this. They talked about the horror of it. She talked about the trauma of it.
My mum going into the air raid shelter and all the spiders being in there.
Now, don't forget, they've got the constant sound of drones. In the last 24 hours, Netanyahu said, right, go hard, and suddenly there's bombing and killing of everything, 100 people dead. For the children and the families and the men and the people on the ground there, when that bombing isn't happening, they've got virtually no infrastructure to know when and if it's coming. It's not like they see The Guardian and go, oh, right, they're claiming we're in breach of
nowhere to go.
Well, they also don't know when it's going to happen. No. So you're in a constant state of preparedness for what? You've got nothing to prepare with.
Remember, hungry and thirsty too. Hungry and thirsty. And with the winter coming in now, God, jeez. People don't realise it gets really cold.
Yeah.
It gets really cold, lots of rain, maybe even snow this year, who knows?
Elaine Denning says you predicted this, Mark. I mean, I did, but it wasn't a kind of shocking or clever prediction. It was just one that's just based on history.
Done it every time they've broken every ceasefire.
And in fact, on that note of predicting it, Elaine, this is what people have to understand when people very quickly after October the 7th didn't trust Israel at all, because there's a long history. There's a long history of there being a desire to destroy and amplify and accelerate the occupation and the genocide and the oppression and apartheid of the Palestinians. Many people engaged with the area, many people's family in the Arab world were fully cognizant of the fact that October the 7th was going to be a moment where potentially Israel would use it after the event of the shock of it to go in hard and destroy. And boy, did they. So when people go, why were you so quickly kind of suspicious of Israel's intentions? Because there were 75 years before it. It didn't start there. Oh, it drives me mad. It drives me absolutely mad. Okay, I'm just going to pull in footage I just pulled from The Guardian of the Hurricane Melissa in hitting Cuba, hitting Jamaica. This is the latest footage on the front of the Guardian website. No audio, but you can get a sense of the road, the water, the devastation. St. Elizabeth in Jamaica. That's in Cuba, Santiago de Cuba. And then here we've got footage, other footage.
So scary. How
yeah, satellite images capture the moment Category 5 storm made landfall. And there, once again, you see the footage of the eye of the storm sped up somewhat, obviously. And so the latest reports this morning: storm of the century, record-breaking Hurricane Melissa hits Jamaica and heads for Cuba. Hurricane Melissa is heading for Cuba after it made landfall in Jamaica, battering the country with ferocious winds, heavy floods. Cuba's president has warned the country was in for a difficult night as it now becomes a Category 4 storm headed for the island's second largest city. In Jamaica, Minister of Local Government said on Tuesday afternoon that the southwestern parish of St. Elizabeth was underwater and that at least 3 families were trapped in their homes in the community of Black River in western Jamaica. I think,
scary.
Although it looks awful and although it's obviously been terrible, I don't think it's been as bad as many were.
Thank God, no, it could have been
so
much worse. But what a mess! What a mess!
Yeah,
and how good are the services going to be? To get people back on their feet.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But
hey, there's no such thing as climate change.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so Lily Allen. Let's talk about Lily Allen. We now know why Nads likes her. I love her kind of doesn't give a fuck attitude myself. These are images that she's taken for the promotion of her new album.
I love that photo.
It's so funny, isn't it? Here's some other images of Lily Allen. Please all share. This is obviously her husband. Are they divorced now? Have they got divorced?
Yeah.
Former husband David Harbour, about whom her new album. More photos again. It's great photos, aren't they? I love that.
Look at that.
It's just so. She is. The thing about her is she's
that a banana?
She's very cool. Excuse me.
Is that a banana skin next to her?
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Do you think they've taken style tips from our house?
Well, it's like Tracy Emin kind of was inspired by your bed.
Yeah, we're sure Tracy Emin saw my bed.
I think, you know what I like about Lily Allen, and I have done. Someone was just asking, I wonder if Lily Allen is upset about the Zionist counter protesters using her "fuck you." Apparently, they're using it a lot at marches.
Oh, are they?
Protest. I don't know if there's a lot you can do about it if people play it.
Oh, no, well, no, I don't think there is.
No, I don't think there is.
Mind you, when they use them, like when
they're using
politicians
Queen
use
as
like
well.
like Trump, yeah, that immigrant,
Yeah, but he's a
that gay immigrant.
Yeah, exactly. The gay immigrant. Oh, yeah, that's funny.
Wow.
Yeah, but no, but the reason that you get bands or musicians opposing people like Trump doing it is because it was a formal part of a party's form.
Yes.
It's a formal
Then
legal
you can
event.
stop it, but
when
otherwise,
it's not illegal, but when it's an informal
I
event,
suppose,
they just turn the volume
I
up,
suppose
don't
what you could do is make some sort of political statement about it. But some people just decide that they will never say anything political, and that's that, and that's their right, I suppose. I find it frustrating, but because I think there's so much power in somebody mega famous saying just saying anything. But you know, what can you do?
I've always really liked her. I've always thought, for me, she does in pop music what Tracy Emin does in art. And she's obviously, from what I'm hearing about this new album, Variety magazine's review is phenomenal. I mean, it's just saying it's just one of the greatest albums ever.
Yeah.
She wrote it did it in 10 days.
She wrote it in 10 days. And as she says now, because there's been a lot of speculation of this is her revenge album, this is her getting her own back. And I don't know what those photos, what she's done an interview in wherever those photos are from.
I think weren't these photos for the album, no?
No, it's for I think they're for that interview where she actually says, no, it's not a revenge. It's not a revenge. She doesn't even see it as cruel.
Right.
She said she wrote it whilst in the breakup.
Yes.
It's a bit like drunk. It's like drunk texting on crack, basically.
Yeah.
But I love this. There's lots of hints in there. Hints like because that boundaries were decided and boundaries were broken.
She says says the moment was when she got cast in her theatrical show. He went a bit weird, and he asked for an open relationship. Didn't I? Thought
no, but she
David
hints
Harbour.
that within the songs, she says she says that I can't believe the amount of times that she's done this is she just does the best. I know she says it's not revenge, but when she has a go, oh my God, what was the album?
Oh God, yeah, where she's talking about, wasn't it a reference to the art dealer that she was used to go out?
And men will be very scared of crossing Lily Allen. But she's genius.
Yeah, he got jealous of her acting. That's right, Reese. I'm sure that that was a kind of trigger point.
There's loads of thoughts out there. But anyway, she says it's not a revenge album, that she was in the middle of the breakup. Yes. That actually, he's actually on holiday at the moment with her kids in Florida. But you can tell from the interview that she's still a bit prickly about it, because he said, the interviewer asked her, does he still have a relationship with your children? And she said, well, you would have to ask him about that. But she, people are calling it, likening it to Beyonce's Lemonade, which was just the most.
And I didn't like.
You never watched that film?
No, I loved Lemonade.
Oh, you loved it?
No, I loved
it.
I just can't stand her.
You can't see it anymore.
Yeah, which I think is kind of clever, because it was a great work of art.
Oh, it was an absolute work of art. But Becky with the green hair, and she says that these songs are a mixture of all different people, and that this girl that she'd read the text of, he was seeing this. He started to have an affair. Basically, that's what the problem is.
She created a composite person in Madeline.
Yes,
is that right?
Yeah, Madeline. So there's this. And she does hint at it, that there was boundaries, that you could have sex, but it had to be only sex, and you couldn't get emotional, and there could be no emotions tied to it, which I think is always just so dangerous. Because, so you say to somebody, well, yeah, you can have sex outside of our marriage, but what if the sex is great? And then what if you want sex again with the person? And then what if you want sex again?
That's one of the main reasons we haven't done it.
And then you have sex again.
Yes.
And then you're a bit hungry. So then you go, oh, should we get something to eat? And then you get something to eat, and then you start chatting. And then you think, oh God, this is really lovely, this, because I haven't got any of the responsibilities of a relationship. Nice, I'm not having to take the rubbish out. I'm not having to feed the dog. I'm not having to do anything. That's where it all goes wrong.
Of course, yes, absolutely.
So unless you're saying one shag and you've got 10 minutes, I don't see how I think you're playing with fire.
Yes. I mean, I just love the immediacy with which she wrote it, 10 days, so that it will be raw. I think she's clearly at her strongest when she just goes hard at creativity in response to real trauma. I mean, I think she's obviously
just the way
she's just kind of gone for it, but she
the
has
craft of the work, and just that I love the way everything is sung with such
fragility.
a sweetness. She is woman to me in every way. She can pack a punch, but with the sweetest tone. And that's
I tell you what she's got,
because I'm
fragile
fascinated.
fury.
I'm fascinated by why men get so angry, furious with her. The likes of Piers Morgan. Well, I don't know whether Piers Morgan ever said anything about her, but you know, that kind of Greta Thunberg attack on her.
Yeah, she's a great storyteller.
Yes, exactly. Storyteller.
But I tell you what, I mean, we loved her. The first album. There's some great tunes on her second album, but I do think that she has a fragility to her fury. There's a kind of sweetness and a kind of innocence to a really quite fucking angry, vicious, brilliantly kind of in your face kind of.
I don't think it ever feels vicious.
No, it isn't.
And it's interesting because she says in this, but I don't think it's horrible. I don't think it's this. I don't think it's that. She's a little genius, and she's really bloody gorgeous.
Zoe says the album is a Bible for us women who have been cheated on. Love it and love her.
Yeah.
I'd much rather listen to a Lily Allen revenge album than a Taylor Swift revenge
album. God.
Taylor Swift almost makes her sort of, I don't know, I'm worried about her partner, because boy, it's going to be a big album.
And the other thing I like about her is she's really, really open. She says where she fucks up all the time. Like she's talking about how she had this beautiful house. She made her absolute dream house. She's always getting broke, isn't she? And then somebody sued her. So she gave all her money that she'd set aside for tax to pay the person that had sued her. And then she said to the tax people, can I pay you monthly? And they said, no, we want all of it. So she had to sell her dream house.
Yeah, she runs a podcast, doesn't she? It's a very good podcast.
Oh God, I wish I could go on her podcast. I'm too uncool and naff and old, probably.
Oh, nads.
Well, I am.
EV3331 says 1 shag, 10 minutes sounds like hell. Referring back to your 10 minutes, more like 4.
But does anybody agree? I don't think you could say, all right, you can just have sex. Life is not like you can't compartmentalize. If the sex is great, that's going to cause a problem. Of
course it is, because that you're going to just keep going off to want it over there.
Mark's gone into dreamland now.
No, I haven't gone into panic mode.
What panic mode?
I don't know, because in case you're having nice sex somewhere else.
Oh God, you're so sweet. I thought you were thinking about you having
nice sex. No, I don't want it. What is this idea?
No, because when I said you wouldn't have to take the rubbish out.
Oh, that's so lovely. Got all run the kids here and there. Yeah, nice. I'd like that. Please don't start on Taylor.
Oh no, we love Taylor.
No, I'm joking.
We're just saying that we just like, I love a bit. Taylor is safe, and Taylor is very, very
clean,
tailored for a certain group of people. Do you know what I mean? Not like me, some like, what am I? Why am I being so horrible to myself?
I don't know, babe. Is it your eyes? Is it because of your eyes? Yeah. I can see clearly now the waves are gone.
The swelling's coming down.
I can see.
Look at this, guys. I'm pushing
through. I went to give you
through.
a kiss this morning, but I thought, no, better not.
It's funny, isn't it? Because I was supposed to be on Loose. I was supposed to be on Loose Women's Day. It's that funny thing, isn't it? I wouldn't go on telly like this.
Yes.
But I would talk to you guys like this.
I don't know
it's
what
weird.
That says. I don't know if people should be grateful for that or not. It's informal here. That's why. That's what's nice about it.
No, but it's interesting, isn't it? Those parameters. It's like it's very
Lee
odd.
Durrant, shush. I can imagine Mark always clock watching to see if he has 10 minutes for a shag. Okay, on that note.
Anyway, please hit the subscribe button. And sorry, it was all a bit upside down at the beginning, but we did really rush to get here because we didn't want to leave you without a coffee moaning. So lots of love, and we will see. Oh, tonight.
Oh, yes, tonight.
Please join me at 7:00 tonight here live. I've got a guest. She's fantastic.
What,
She's
on
the fabulous. No, it's going to be on here.
Oh, on YouTube.
On YouTube.
Oh, I didn't realize. All right.
The Fabulous Pharmacist. And she's written a book called Love Your Vulva.
Oh.
And
am I allowed to love your vulva?
I don't know whether this is possible, because you'll have to tell me this. But is it possible to put something up on the community page? People can ask questions that I might want to ask her later.
Yes, but we'll maybe. Yes.
So please join us at 7. She really is she's a great woman, and she's just you can ask her about anything, menopause, any vaginal things, anything. She is the Fabulous Pharmacist.
There you go. And then after that, you've got the Sunday show.
Yes, so we're doing the live after that with the Sunday show.
So there might be a turnaround afterwards.
So a big night tonight.
All right, my lovelies. Have a good day. Take care. Bye.
Bye.